Joe Hopkins here. Today I'm talking about budget guitars. Which one should you get? You, that's right, you out there. It's a very personal kind of question. Which one should you get? Well, you see, I don't really know what your needs are. I don't know what your skill level is or what you're looking for, if you care about how it looks or how it sounds or how it feels or all of the above. I don't know what your personal tastes and preferences are. I don't know where you like to put your fingers at night. And I don't want to. That's a lie. I do. Tell me in the comments where you like to put your fingers at night. But anyway, I'm going to go over some of my favorite budget guitars and, describe them and give you an idea of the differences and different price ranges and that kind of stuff, so you can kind of get an idea what you want to buy, right? You know what you want. I'm going to tell you what's out there. How about that? I'm going to start with, now I don't have any of them here. I do have. I'm lying. I didn't bring it over here where I'm sitting. We're going to start with the name brand budget stuff, right? And by what I mean the big brand ones, Squire and Epiphone, right? You got Squire, you got Epiphone. That's basically Fender and Gibson's baby brands. And they're pretty cheap, man. They start at like $200 for either, right? And work up from there. But most of the Epiphones aren't terribly expensive. Most of the Squires aren't terribly expensive. I have a Squire. Like I said, I have a Squire J-Bass, and I love the thing. And to be honest with you, I can't tell a lot of difference between that and the Fender. When it comes to Squire, and you can buy these pretty much anywhere. Anywhere that sells guitars, you can get these Squire and Epiphone. But with Squire, I can't really tell a huge difference between Squire and Fender with a lot of their products. Some of them, yeah, but a lot of them, no. It's pretty much a Fender that just costs less, right? And I know there are a lot of Fenders that have better pickups, or they're better built, or they have fancier wood, or, I can't tell a lot of difference. Now with Epiphone, I love Epiphones. They're great. I can tell the difference between an Epiphone and a Gibson. There's a pretty substantial difference from especially the lower priced Epiphones to a Gibson. The Gibsons are just way better. That said, I don't think they're better in the ways that matter as much as people think they should. Let me put it that way. I love Epiphone, right? I've played a number of Epiphones. I love Squire. I think they're great. But moving on, we're going to get to some of the budget brands. Now, if you want to buy any of these brands, I'll go ahead and put links in the description below to the websites where you can buy these guitars, right? Except for those big brands, because you can find them anywhere. I'm going to start with Glarry. Glarry is an excellent budget brand, in my opinion, for the price. Yeah. I would not go to Glarry if you're looking for a seriously professional, high-level instrument of, no, it's not that. But if you want a guitar, or you want a second guitar, or you want a guitar with a particular look, I love the way this looks, right? If you want something that just looks a bit different, sounds a bit different, you're not that concerned about it being the highest of quality, yeah, Glarry's your gig, man. These guitars start at like $100. I mean, their high-end expensive stuff is like what, $200, if that. Yeah, so Glarry, I'm not putting them down at all. I really like my Glarry. I've used it a good bit. The main reason I got it is I like the way it looks, and it was $100. I'm not out much. And that's the reason to buy a Glarry, in my opinion. Now, they're not bad. It's not a bad guitar. It sounds good. Plug it in, play it. Sounds pretty good. I get a good sound out of it. It doesn't have horrible action or anything like that, and the stuff that's adjustable on it, you can lower the action. The frets are decent, right? They're not bad. They're not like poking out there. They're not poking you. It's decent quality for $100, right? I like Glarry. Like I said, if you're looking for something like professional level that you can gig with, I wouldn't recommend them. But if you want something to mess around at home with, yeah, definitely. You want a second guitar, definitely. You want a project, something to, you know, change stuff out, change out the pickups and the bridge and all that stuff. That's a great starting place, and they're cheap, right? Next, let's go to Xavier. Now, this guitar is $200. I did a second look review on it recently. It's my Xavier Telecaster, and I am truly impressed with Xavier. Now, their guitars start around 200 bucks, and they go up from there. Some of them can get up closer to $500 depending on the guitar you're looking at. But most of them are, you know, $250 to $350-ish in there, you know, for most of their stuff. And I consider them professional grade instruments. They're really, really good. Excellent. You know, excellent fretwork, really good sound. They have GFS pickups in them. Now that's Guitar Fetish's. Guitar Fetish sells Xavier, and they sell GFS pickups. That's their pickups. You know, GFS, Guitar Fetish, you know, they got a fetish. Don't we all have our fetish? I also have a guitar fetish, if you can't tell. But the nice thing about the GFS pickups is they're quick plug. So you can change them out with other GFS pickups without having to solder. It's just you take the pickup out, unplug it, plug in the new one, screw it in, you're good to go. Which is nice, but I consider this to be an excellent, excellent brand, even if you're using it professionally. This thing is held up really well. They make acoustic guitars. I have one of those, and it's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I really think they are high quality stuff, especially for, like I said, you're looking at most of their guitars are $250 to $350, depending on what you're getting. Some of them like this are a little bit below that. Some of them are a little bit above that, but they're very well made, excellent instruments. And the company is in the US, they're in Florida. So like here on the East Coast, I got this pretty quick. They shipped it out pretty quick. Shipping wasn't a ton of, I think it was like 20 bucks when I bought this. Might be a little bit more now. But there's that. That's nice. It's not like coming from overseas where the shipping is expensive. All right. So talking about overseas where the shipping is expensive, let's go to one of the favorites, Harley Benton. Harley Benton is sold by Thomann Music in Germany, and their shipping is kind of high. It's up to like 80 bucks a guitar now. It was a lot less when I bought this. The shipping was like 35 bucks, and you could get up to 3 guitars shipped at that when I bought this one. Now, Harley Benton is one of those brands that has a range of products, right? All the way from sub $100 all the way up to guitars that are like $700, $750, depending on what you're getting. And they're definitely a budget-friendly brand, especially considering what you're getting. Now, this one is their SC Custom FR. It's got the Roswell Alnico pickups in it, Floyd Rose tremolo. They make one without a Floyd Rose if you're not into that. And this one, when I bought it, was like, I don't know, just over $300, which isn't a bad deal at all things considered. But they have cheaper models that start under $100, both acoustic and electric. I've bought their acoustic guitars, I've bought their electric guitars, and they've all been really, really good instruments. I have no complaints about them at all. Any one of the guitars I bought from them, I could definitely gig with. I could definitely use a lot, and I don't have to worry about it falling apart. They all sound good. They can stand up, you know. They're really well-built instruments, right? Harley Benton is obviously one of the favorite budget guitar brands. If you look around at budget guitars, you're going to realize very quickly there are a couple brands that are favorites, and Harley Benton is one of them for a reason, and for good reason. So, yeah, I'd say if you actually want a professional grade instrument, Harley Bentons are really good. If you want something to start out with, a beginner's instrument, one of the lower priced ones might be for you. If you're looking for just something to mess around with, a second guitar, you know, I would definitely recommend them. They're across the board. Whatever you're looking for, you could probably find it. And they have lots of varieties, lots of styles, colors, pretty much all of that kind of stuff. You can find almost anything through them. So they're a good place to look, to at least shop around and see what they have. I mean, like I said, that was my Les Paul style guitar, but they have pretty much anything imaginable. They have a lot of stuff in that brand, and it's all pretty decent. You know, some of it's better than others. You know, obviously the higher price stuff might be better. The lower price stuff is still pretty damn good. The big difference is going to be between the price levels is in like the pickups and the hardware and things like that, right? But the guitars themselves are all really good. Now let's see, what else do we have here? We have Hard Luck Kings. Now this is my Hard Luck Kings Bombshell, right? That's what they call their Stratocaster style guitar. I really, really dig this guitar. It's another brand that is, honestly, I'd say it's professional level stuff. You can buy this and gig with it, do studio stuff with it. I do everything with this guitar, and it does just fine. It's an excellent, excellent instrument. One thing to remember with Hard Luck Kings is whatever the purchase price is, with shipping and their setup, if you get their setup together, it's going to cost you about $100 more than the list price. Now, they have a certain amount of variety, right? But not nearly as much as Harley Benton. There are only so many types of guitars that they have. They have like their Strat style. They have obviously a Les Paul style, Flying V style. They have basses. You'd have to go and look. They got numerous things, and they tend to have a bunch of different colors. And what they do is they'll put them out in batches. They'll have what they call a series. I think this was a series 24 or something like that. But they'll put out a batch, and when they sell that batch, they'll put on a different batch. So you're not always going to have the same colors showing up. You're not always going to have the same styles showing up. Now, I know that in the past, they've done acoustic guitars. And I almost bought one, but they sold out, and they haven't done acoustics since. So I don't know if you're going to see those. But their electric guitars are quite good. You know, like I said, these are professional level guitars. You get the setup. The setup, I'd recommend it. It's excellent. But like I said, setup and shipping together is going to be about $100 above the list price. And the prices can go up with them. I got this on their daily deal for like $200. And with the shipping and setup, it was around $300. But some of their guitars range upward of like $500-$600 for some of the pricier ones. So, you know, their price ranges can definitely go up. I'd say they're worth it. So if you want a professional level guitar or something with a professional setup, excellent brand to go with. Very good guitars. Let's see what else we got here. What else have we got? Perennial favorite. Firefly. They sell these at guitarsgarden.com. Firefly is another very popular budget brand, and for good reason. They're very well-made instruments in general. The one thing with Firefly that's different than it is with some of the others is this didn't really come set up. You know, it was playable, it was fine, but it needed some adjustments to get it right. You know, kind of like with the Glarry. Whereas with the Avier, my Harley Bentons that I've bought, the Hard Luck Kings, most of the other brands I've gotten, they come set up, even if they don't advertise it. Avier, through Guitar Fetish, doesn't advertise a setup, but it came set up. Harley Benton doesn't advertise a setup, but everything I've bought from them has come set up pretty well. Yeah, Firefly, this one anyway, at least, came, like I said, it was an okay setup. It was playable, but it wasn't quite right. I had to make some adjustments to get it right. Nothing wrong with that, right? And plus, if you're a beginner, right out of the box, this was good enough. It was good enough to start out with. Now, would I say this is something I would gig heavily with? I don't know. I might. I mean, it's not poorly built. It's well built enough. It'll hold up to whatever you're doing. I'd say if I was going to be gigging with this a lot, I'd put better tuners on it. But other than that, I think it would hold up just fine. This is a fine guitar for beginners or for experts. And you know, this one I got for like 200 bucks, right? And some of their guitars, they have their Telecaster and Stratocaster style guitars that are still, excuse me, that are still under $200. And some of their guitars go up to like, I think 260 or 270 for some of their models. They have a number of models. They have the Les Paul style, the Telecaster style, Stratocaster style guitar. They've got their hollow bodies, a couple different types of hollow bodies. They've got different guitars. They got an Explorer type one. They got their Flying V, and but they don't always have them in stock. And it's hard to tell what they'll have in stock until you go look. That's another thing with a lot of these brands is you got to go look to see what's there, right? But Firefly is definitely a good brand. If you're a beginner, if you're intermediate, if you're expert, this is pretty much good for anybody. Like I said, it was playable just fine out of the box, but to get it right, like if you're an expert, an advanced player, and you expect it to be a certain way, you might have to make some adjustments. But it's worth it. It's a good instrument. So let's see what else we have here. What else have we got? We'll go to Wolf. And these are sold by All-in-One Guitars in California. They make they sell Wolf and AIO guitars. And this thing is absolutely brilliant. This was $450. So to give you an idea, most of their guitars are like in that price range, $400 to $600. They sell basses too. But most of them are in that price range roughly. And you know, you got to go, once again, you got to go look to see what they actually have in stock. But their guitars are excellent. I mean, brilliant, well put together. I love all the gold hardware, the abalone inlays. Now, not all of them, not all their stuff have all the bling the same as this. They have other things, you know. They got, like with most companies, they got a Strat style guitar, a Tele style guitar, a hollow body, and some of them are appointed differently, you know. You got to go look. And they even have like the Relict. Excuse me, man, my allergies are killing me. It's springtime, everything's blooming. Anyway, they got their Relict guitars, which really look kind of cool. Xavier has those too. The Slick brand guitars. They have, you know, Relict aged looking guitars. But we're talking about Wolf AIO, right? This thing is brilliant. And with this one, they tend to cost a little bit less or a little bit more. I mean, less, more, that's about the same as like a Hard Luck Kings. Once you figure in shipping and setup with Hard Luck Kings, they're comparable to each other. Except with All-in-One Guitars, the setup is free, and I think the shipping is free, but I figure that's included in the price, you know? That's what I'm figuring, but their setup is brilliant. I mean, this is the best fretwork of any of the guitars I have. Hard Luck Kings is close, but I mean, this Wolf is just absolutely brilliant. I mean, I adore this guitar. Grover tuners. It's got those Destiny CNC pickups in it. Love this guitar. This is a professional level instrument. Now, it costs a little bit more. If you're a beginner or if you don't have a lot of money, you might not want to spend $450, $500 on a guitar. But if you're an advanced player or you have a couple bucks to spend, yeah, this is the way to go, right? Definitely, in my opinion, a worthwhile instrument. Now, there's one last one I'm going to go over the company of, and that's IVYV. This thing is another brilliant guitar, in my opinion. Now, this one I bought off of Amazon, right? I'm not going to put links to IVYV. I'm going to tell you how to get there. They have stuff on Amazon. Usually it's listed as IVY. It's actually IYV, which stands for Inian Vina. Now, these guitars, they also have a store on eBay. If you go to eBay or Reverb, they have a store on Reverb. You know you found their store when you see the guitars that have a shipping cost of like $146. Now, why is the shipping that high? It's coming from Vietnam. The stuff on Amazon is limited. They have a couple of different guitars, like their Les Paul. That's the only color you can get on Amazon. I like it, but you know, you can get other stuff on their stores. Now, it's all pretty low priced. So once you figure in the shipping, you're still usually under $300 for the guitar, which is an excellent price for what you get. This was 180 bucks on Amazon. Now, the reason why I really think it's a good deal, these guitars, even if you're getting them from Vietnam and spending the money on the shipping, this thing is an absolutely brilliant guitar, which is no surprise. IVYV makes Wolf and AIO as well. They are the actual manufacturer. They make them for all-in-one guitars. This is pretty much the same guitar as my Wolf, just with different colored hardware, a lot less abalone, doesn't have Grover tuners, but in general, it's pretty close to the same. Pickups are the same. The fretwork is good, but not as good as the Wolf, because they do a setup on the Wolf. And the other thing about it, it came set up. When I got it, this thing was set up quite well. Not quite as good as the Wolf. But Inion Vina is worth checking out. IVYV is worth checking out because it's the same guitars you're going to get from some of the other makers for less. Now, they do make other guitars as well. They make guitars for ESP, I believe, Dillion, Legator. So you'll find some guitars that look surprisingly like those brands from their store. You will find a guitar that looks a lot like my Harley Benton because they made this Harley Benton. This was manufactured, I believe, by IVYV. It has their, you know, their made in Vietnam stamp on it. It doesn't say IVYV, but they have that stamp and it looks the same. So there you go. And if you go to the IVYV's store, you'll find one that looks like this, but instead of gold hardware, it's black. And, you know, black knobs, black tremolo, but it's pretty much the same guitar. But you know, with the shipping and all, it costs about the same as what I paid for this one. So, but this one, then you have $80 shipping. So even with the $146 shipping from Vietnam, it still comes out less than you're going to spend on the same guitar from Harley Benton. Except the Harley Benton has the Roswell pickups, and I really like this. So, I mean, it's a toss-up. But as far as IVYV goes, because some of these guitars are so low priced, like this one being like 180 bucks, and so well put together, I would recommend that for, if you're a beginner and you want something decent, that's a good way to go, because it's not terribly expensive. I'd go on Amazon and see what they have, because their stuff on Amazon is cheaper than you're going to get from their store with the shipping and all. But, you know, the choice is up to you guys, because the other thing is, I don't know what styles you like. But between all of these brands, if you look through them, you're going to find something you like that you can afford and that you might just want to buy. You know what I mean? And even if you're an acoustic player, a number of these brands offer acoustic guitars. I know Glarry does, Harley Benton does, Avier does. Like I said, Hard Luck Kings has in the past. I don't know if they will in the future. But, you know, for those of us that like our acoustic guitars, that's worth knowing. So, there you go. Like I said, regardless of what your style is, your skill level, what you want it to look like, how you want it to play, if you look through all of these, you're going to find something that suits you in a price range that works for you. I mean, it's all about options, right? Having more options available to you makes it more likely that you'll get what you actually want. And that's why I do these videos, to inform you guys so you can go out there and buy a guitar and learn to rock out. Or if you already know how to rock out, you can buy a guitar and just rock out. Yeah, rock out with your sock out. Yeah, that's right. I said that because the other word might upset YouTube. I don't know. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. You should subscribe to my channel. Leave me some comments. Which of these brands do you like best? And here in a sec, there's going to be some of them links. Yeah, man, I got a reviews playlist and a songs playlist. You can check out my songs. I'm trying to promote my songs because I'm proud of them. They're my babies. I work hard on them, and I want people to like them. And I know that it's hard. It's hard to get heard, but I'm trying. And I'll see you guys in the next video. I love you guys. All right, peace out, baby. Bye-bye.